So you or somebody you know and love are dating a dismissive avoidant. Should you stay or should you go? I'm going to break down the differences for you. In fact, I'm going to cover 4 things that you really want to look out for on both the healthy and unhealthy side so that you know what you should be doing in this particular situation. Now, if you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. My name is Gibson. I'm so happy you stopped by, and I put daily videos out on this channel about personal development, the subconscious mind, how we can heal and take responsibility for our own patterns so that we can then build the best relationships of our life, starting with the relationship to ourselves. And I'm going to tell you, as somebody who worked in private practice for years before ever moving into the online space, the number one thing that I would look out for when I would first meet a new client or see a new couple, I don't care what their attachment styles are. I don't care how much wounding or trauma they have. The number one thing I looked for is, are they willing to do the work? Are they in a position where they're going to be accountable for how they're showing up or what their unhealthy patterns are in a relationship? And can we move the needle on those things? Are they willing to be accountable and then actually do the rewiring work? So what I want to do is I want to break down how to tell whether or not a dismissive avoidant is ready to do the work so that you know how to best proceed and what that work should look like. Because I'll tell you one thing, somebody saying they would like to do the work, or they would like to be accountable one day, or they will read that book one day in the future, or maybe one day they will go to therapy or counseling. Those things do not constitute. Okay, so we're going to talk about the differences between what does and what does not. Here's your first point, which is that somebody doing the work actually has to exist in their behavior, not their desires. And what I mean by this is our conscious mind is responsible for 3 to 5% of all of our beliefs, our thoughts, our emotions, our actions. Your subconscious and unconscious collectively are 95 to 97%. Your conscious mind is the part of you that says, oh, I would like to earn more money. I would like to heal my patterns. I would like to be a better partner. I would like to quit eating chocolate as my New Year's resolution. I would like to, we say all these things that we would like to do, but they are just conscious mind desires. What matters is what's in people's behaviors. These are things they're already partaking in. They're more likely to get ingrained at the subconscious level, especially if they are already regular and habitual. So I'll tell you, if you were dating somebody and they were like, yeah, I might be a dismissive avoidant attachment style, but I am actively reading about this, learning about this, practicing being more vulnerable, practicing coming out of my shell and communicating differently. And if you saw these things, I would call those things green flags. You're not going to get this like perfect cardboard cutout partner in many types of cases and situations. In fact, so often we're so quick to run at the first sign of a red flag. Red flags should be addressed. They should be spoken about head on. If somebody has a red flag in a relationship dynamic, you should be like, well, what does this mean? So if I thought that somebody had an insecure attachment style and I was dating them, what I would do is figure out, well, it's okay. It's okay to be insecurely attached. I was once insecurely attached. That's an okay thing. But what are you doing about it? Are you being accountable? Are you doing the work? And if somebody was like, I would like to, but they're not already doing anything, that's a really big red flag that's going to stay a red flag. If somebody says, yeah, I might be insecurely attached, but I've been working on this. Here are the 3 things I've been doing for the past few months and will continue to, and they've already seen progress in their own life, that's a green flag. That's the type of person or personality who's going to work on things and self-reflect and introspect and be accountable. Those are good things. And it's okay for people to be imperfect. Okay, so that's number 1. It's a really big deal. And honestly, that applies across all attachment styles. Human beings are going to be human beings. Nobody's going to come with like the perfect patterns to bring into a relationship. So are we the type of person? Are you the type of personality that's going to reflect and introspect and be accountable and want to grow and be taking action? Okay. Number 2 thing to look out for is that not everybody's actions look the same. So I will say this. Sometimes, somebody's action is very clear. It's very obvious. They are taking the online courses. They're doing the work. They are in counseling. They're in therapy. They're meeting with somebody weekly. These can be like a first step. Okay. And that's obvious and that's great. But sometimes what you'll see is for dismissive avoidance, their way of doing the work is not necessarily to only go to counseling or therapy. It can be that they may, be reading about this, educating themselves, and then recognizing their patterns and working to change them. So for example, if you're dating somebody and you're like, well, are you willing to have hard conversations? And they're like, yeah, I am. Like, is there anything you want to talk about? Let's hear it. And they're able to be present and listen, and they're trying to communicate more vulnerably, and they're trying to share their inner world more, and they're trying to compromise better and co-regulate better. Like if you see somebody doing things in their behaviors, that's going to be the most important thing, because people can also go to, see a therapist that kind of sucks, that isn't the greatest sometimes. We don't always have the best case scenarios with all of those types of outcomes. So what you want to see is like, does this person know what's holding them back? And are they working on those very specific things? And it doesn't always just have to be a course or therapy or a book. It can be that like they're willing to have those hard conversations. They've done the research and they're pushing themselves out of their shell. As long as you see things that indicate the needle is moving. And this brings me to point number 3 here, the main things you're going to be looking for. Number 1, the person is practicing vulnerability. Number 2, they're practicing being present. Number 3, they're starting to notice more of their own emotions. Number 4, they're communicating more rather than wanting to flee or stonewall if there is some sort of conflict in a situation. Number 5, they're being accountable. Okay, so they're able to own their part, see their stuff, evaluate and recognize their own patterns in a relationship. Number 6, this person is actually willing to compromise, hear where you're coming from, look out for you and your needs, and try to co-regulate, try to be a listening ear if you're going through something, but also trying to share what's affecting them as well. Those are some really good signs to look for. If you want to do a deep dive into this, you get to keep the attachment styles and intimacy course for life. It's all about attachment styles, each of their patterns around sex, intimacy, closeness, bonding, the things that cause them to want to pull away and that they fear and that you should watch out for, and the things that they like and enjoy and appreciate. So I'll put that down below as well. It's a free gift just for a limited time. The last major thing to look out for is you want to make sure that you are not dating somebody's potential. Dating somebody's potential looks like you being in a position where you're more connected to the fantasy of the person and how they could be rather than what they are actually doing. So I think it's very important if you're dating somebody to ask yourself, from 1 to 10, how much do I feel like my feelings and needs are heard and met in this relationship? If you're scoring high, that's a great sign. If you're scoring moderately high and you see progress, great sign. But if you're seeing that that's very low and you're not seeing much progress, that is something so important to pay attention to. And also, you want to be checking in, how does this person make me feel in my body? Do I feel anxious when I'm dating this person all the time? Do I feel like I'm walking on eggshells and not sure of what to do or how to respond? Or do I actually feel like this person is trying to take me into consideration and look out for me and support me and have my back? Because those will create 2 very different feelings in your body that you should be paying attention to. So I hope this helps you break everything down and makes everything super clear. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time.